My never say ma PENDREAM TV. PENDREAM TV there. O see them yopo.
Yeah, Endra and a Ghana for Yenina Kupiemu Kumewu. Yenina Kupiemu Kumewu. Na Kumewu ni Kupiemu no. Where's Kumewu? Endra na Ghana. No, that's not the results. Endra na Ghana, yenina Kupiemu Kumewu. Eye NPP stronghold. Na Ghana for nyina akotwaba Kumewu, Kumewu for. Akoyi eye MP Sebiu Otoye yedi obi ashara name. Now the question here is Kumewu elections na course no edien na ebie na keys be na unlock ana locks be na unlock a ebie Ghana fo bi ani a Sebiu nipa dodo no ya adwene nkonnwoma bi so. Loud Silence TV and Loud Silence Media yenya abotre ene analyze eye results e free Kumewu baaye. And the idea to the issue Kumewu we be say precedents and history, and we have checked from 1996. There is something that is not clear when it comes to the result issue Kumewu. Now we are beginning to notice something. Now I didn't hear noticing it. We are beginning to see say it is part of the reason why EC any NPP when you ask them say omonka 2020 results about presidential and parliamentary the winia ayeding. Now tell my NDC at the election 2020 court no. There was a word that came out, pardon of votes. Then I said saying say ye to aba na ebi wie bishem na ebi wie bishem. Yet say na NPP focus say oh NDC for nya pardon a pad they were able they got some stuffing and I said your party vote not just the big can and NPP so vote to the big can. Now the question here is so oko asantimemu a na o share the kind of vote I koswa sometimes we say the right vote the free asantimemu ba and I say vote the free asantimemu ba no nipa bi de kokwasa e the big can. Now, I cannot just sit here and say when you go to the northern region, Sanesi, and now when you go to the eastern region, Sanesi. But we can use the Kumewu election no, as a case study with the facts and the figures no, to open the eyes of the people. Say, now results are you Kumewu no? Is it the same results are you 2020? Obibeka say, hey, Kumewu elections in a course no, a by-election. Na by election no and said that ni sa traffic no and I say nipa dodo and said that twaba et said the general elections into the enthusiasm bronika say enthusiasm ahokeka no eba by election and said that to say aba general election into normally no eba by election eye ahokeka no wo form nti aba na nipa no to no aya na aba no wo form. Now the question here is yenya abotre the Loud Silence team today. That's what we've been doing. The team, thank you Mr. P. And thank you, Mr. S. We have gone all the way back to do some very important analysis about numbers na PMO Kumewu no. Now remember, there's another by-election at Ebekosuo Eyede Asin North. Ye pese ye ma Ghana for etinyo mebi asisi and sana eye Asin North elections no abaso. Inti Kumewu elections we no ye babeko all the way back to 1996. Remember, Kumewu a constituency be a NPP stronghold. Now every time you see say MPB bar every time you be MP no yenya MPP nia or better one as a breakaway. Anytime you be primaries biano ayana Kumewu ni bi or MPP ni hun say ebi omoni na ndi ni ye inti aya otene hoko independence. Now when you check the history consistently there's been several people independent contesting against NPP Kumewu. And this is not the first time yenya by elections Kumewu. Kumewu sit no MPs be uda maybe by election abada. So when a unique by election being sida. Now so we study history pa anytime MPP nibia ebetene ho every MPP muso ko independent every time bia elections Kumewu no who say sa nipa no onya abapa ebi ne eye nipa ya or contested 2020 against the eye baswai onya 11,000 votes. Now so we share a year results e higher where Endra Kumewu results. The new MP MPP di ba no onya 15,264. NDC ni nya 3,723. Kwekudi a oye MPP ni a obreki away anase ote no ho no ono so enya 2,478. Ena kwekudi a na o77 eduane nkrama eduane ewo eye golden tulip Kumasi na Kumawu ntumi de ne bae no ono so nya 62. Now yemfa results we into nchen na yenko back na analyze Kumawu by elections and parliamentary elections embassy nde na yemusa ye ho question bi say eba ne saying ena ende figures a yehu ni Kumawu no yehu. Now let's try and go back. I am going to go with you. Me no ba be so am for the reason why sometimes no they make no you do to screen is to say it helps you to pay attention. Inti se me de brofo to screen is na me kan a eboa ma wo ne me nante se ne be ya me sa wie na me kire mu twi a na wahu de me pa kire. So me de brofo na me be kan be to screen so, and as time goes on me kodi nyina na me kire mu ama wate de ye de to screen so no se ne be ya wo so wa adwene be kod ye ye no so. So pay attention and follow what I am going to say. Na fa wa adwene edi akire ye nyina wie be busabusa ye ho nsam. Na ye ho say results na si Kumawu no eno ne results na say 2020 results no are different from what we are seeing today. Now K1 Kumawu 2020 was not the only time there was an independent candidate at Kumawu to have come from the NPP. Yes, 2020 and yet the only time 2020 yenya independent candidate wa contest a ye MPP ni wo Kumawu. 2020 ended and then the first time esi pen na yebeko ho. Now, but when you compare the figures in 2020 election and the just ended election with the previous major elections and by-elections in Kumawu, something does not add up with the figures. Now, so compare 2020 results parliamentary a parliamentary 2020 dear no ye MPP ni no any MPP ni 2 any omama kan ye any end results about endra na every Kumawu na I say nsisi so nyama bi enseda entretene bibi ehwem ewom eno na yebedi hu dwuma yenko enim so amefo meboa mamusuro machire ni nyina ma ye nyina ate ho ase because I was say esua de. Now moving forward, the trend over the years is that anytime there's an independent candidate from the NPP in Kumawu, in the next election, the independent candidates who are disgruntled NPP members loses or MPP member loses the number he had in the previous election back to the NPP and maintain some of the numbers. Now, from a year abako semono, anytime ya NPP ni biwo a ye Kumawu oye MPP ni a obete ne ho so okọ independent no anytime obe phase any new MPP candidate bia no dey say sa candidate no ba no abegye sa independent ne number no if you say automatically no nipa bia ote ne ho every MPP mu no a new candidate ba sa MPP for no tie omo no omo nyina sa de omo numbers dey esa bre MPP ni no and a terrain ewo ho anytime you obi abete ne ho so okọ independent or MPP mu no say new candidate ba bia pe oba obegye numbers no ogi dodo no be 90% no eja kakra bia masa independent no eno na MPP focus say it shows say unity is back and ra also mo win here no omo say omo to abama kokudua no omo nyina ba beto abama new candidate we it shows say NPP for nyina sa abafie inti I want you people to understand and am amutiem say e ade e wo ho and say and then see we will go back and show you the terrain and show you the esia bedu na ye de be and the analysis no ama Ghana fo nyina ate ase. Now when we move forward, that was not the case in the just ended election we are see no enye sa de see obi ka say den na Kevin wo kasa bibenya buta chechiri mu a kire wo say bibia da bibia dane bibia ya adwene nkoso no esi. Now, from the figures of 2020 and 2023 by-elections, the independent candidate Kwekudia, who had 11,698 in 2020, dropped from 11,000 to 2,000. Remember, NPP abako semuno, any by election abako semuno, any Kumawu abako semuno. Anytime a new candidate comes to face a NPP candidate or NPP breakaway and not independent, what happens? And say new candidate, or Jiabadi Nina, no, Jaka Krebiama, a NPP no say or independent, But this time, who they see and say, Kwekudia na 2020, onya 11,000, no, Baye 9,000 of nipa omo etoma Kwekudia no, and the same numbers no, Kwekudia and San can be onya 2,000 pe. Into question of Yabusa and say, 9,220 voters no, oman tuama Kwekudia enra no, sa 9,220 no, sa abano omo toma wine. Now, Okoshe NPP for NDC for numbers are Omenya plus 7,000 and 9,000. Okoshe independent Kwekudia wenya 9,000 and 7,000. NPP Nina win elections no wenya 9,000. So the question is, sa 9,000 no ekohin obi beka say hey by elections enye amount for shada and twa basa nipa dodo no shada and twa basa during by elections. I get it. It makes sense. Now, mama yanko enim. Now, usako enima me de elections ni nyina be kire. All right, Mr. P, thank you. If the past trend in Kumawu with respect to independent losing votes to the NPP is anything to go by, then the NPP should have gained more votes in the by-elections, just as it has done in the past when they presented fresh candidates. So you see, yeah, the abako sem din commander dia. Nanka I was saying NPP candidates na Endra Owini no. Nanka also nya more votes change onya no. Remember, Baswa time 2020 no. Baswa, who compare the vote to Akuffo Addo voter, you could see say Baswa enya something around 15,000, 1499 something, and Akuffo Addo nya 23,000. Inti say sanko for no crampo no, se na enya crampo na anka at least sa person we obai no, sa voter na ene ewo Kwekudia ho no, also at least nkotumi nya 1/3 and a half of those votes. But this is not the case. These new candidates waba anka bako sam kire say anka numbers na di Kwekudia chiri nya otumi nya more than half no we nya also tia say endra elections no this new NPP candidate no or the 304 votes per and account inti nipa 11,000 na omu di fe akodi Kwekudia chi 2020 no emu 2,000 per toma Kwekudia no ye mfa ne sa no omu 300 per and the toma new candidate we emu awirem kakra. But we will talk about that. Now, so it says, but from the 14,960 the NPP had in 2020, Baswa number no, and to the 15,264 they had in just ended elections, the NPP only gained 304. Now Baswa number sa ansana a new one way but na 14,960 and a guy we have moving call 15,264 or the nipa 304 pen account nipa 9,000 and 11,000 na emu 2,000 per etoma Kwekudia no sa 9,000 no omko he also tiasie ye mfa ne say emu 3,000 edinbadi bi ma NPP NDC and omdi bi ma Kwekudia junior onya 68 no because you say NDC omunya just 1,284 pen account ma ba ho. Inti sa 9,000 no yemfa ne say 2,000 to ma Kwekudia and 1,200 etoma ede omo abasko kan NPP ho NDC ho. Now sa number na kan yen running up yen 7,000 sa number no enomo but ye be chire ma me ahwe ebi ebe hu bebi omo. Now see this. Now yanko into the detail kakran ni yenjudwam na yenchire na Ghana fo hu de esi ho Kumawu. And then this is what happened in election 2020 in the Ashanti region. Into Kumawu asame by election way a eye opener to Ghanaians. You pay attention. We work hard. Myself and my team, we work very, very hard. We don't just come sit here. If we don't have the facts, we will not do the job. It's a fact. Now, the figure so far shows that the NDC made 53% increases in their 2020 vote compared to compared to a year 2020 and 2023 figures. Now, ni nyina say ohwe NDC numbers omunya ye enra. Omo appreciate ye and answer omo numbers ne call 53% from 2000 to 3000 and over. Meaning say NDC to me the 1284 account numbers home. Now, the NPP on the other hand made just 2%. From the numbers we saw yesterday, I'm NPP presented a new candidate to face an independent. And what history tells us, they say, anytime NPP present a new candidate against an NPP independent, what happens? They say the NPP independent, NPP candidate takes all the numbers, majority of the numbers from the independent. In this case, Kokudua na ye NPP independent. Inti anya kura no, nanka ose NPP sa new candidate we otumeji about 8,000 every Kokudua nsem. But they appreciated only 2%. Ultimately, nipa 304 pe. And the Kabaswa numbers. Now let's move forward. So I'm for Obiati Asia Bibia okay. Maybe Chira Ghana the Ekoso. Any senior MPP for we are bim. Now, if the argument is about low voter turnout, that characterized almost every election, how come Kwekudia lost that many votes? Say original argument say say Kumawu de by election nipa bebre ama inti abano unya numbers no said ye sibia ye the first no general election no na eye de na Kwekudia nko na lose almost 9,000 votes. From the results we are seeing, it is looking like Kwekudia nko and lose 9,000 votes. NPP for no obi losing 9,000 votes, but the argument is a low turnout. Into low turnout no na Kwekudia nko supporters omotoma 2020 na antwaba. Enye nipa 300, enye nipa 500, enye nipa over 9,000. It's the question here is say a low turnout cry. Is it only Kwekudia nko supporters and endro antwaba? Nipa 9,000 or Kwekudia supporters no emu 2,000 or 5,000 or 7,000 or 10,000 8,000 kwan to aba 9,000 and over omu nyina to aba omu nyina Kwekudia supporters because how dey 9,000 na expel off no ebeka Kwekudia results no 11,000 na onyaye no into technically no yen can say NDC for eti Kwekudia numbers 1,000 and MPP 300 and Kwekudia 340 into yen fan say aka 10,000 into Kwekudia nkwa supporters 9,000 nyanti 2,000 ma Kwekudia nanka 8,000 into Kwekudia supporters nkwa na anto abenra. Say a low turnout cry. You want to tell me say Kwekudia nkwa supporters na anto aba. Now when you go down it says and those votes which ideally MPP votes didn't go up. It is a Kwekudia supporters and Pia. MPP for some more Kumawu. Yemfan say last election no man twaba no almost MP. Because Yemfan say Kwekudia supporters in Kwan twaba. Na MPP for some more no almost 304 pen twaba. A question we are asking. Because Kwekudia supporters in say ebuofu. Ye de yempe candidate we inti nyina yemba ya tiase inti omo anomo ho so no MPP supporters no only 304 pe and beto Obama new candidate we ana because this is the math and the logic we are looking at today. Yeah, person you be a nipa 9,000 no say. But so when you move forward you see say at least 1/3 or half of those votes should have gone to the MPP. Because Kwekudia supporters are NPP disgruntled supporters. And the past results have shown. Yen yina say Kwekudia no MPP ni. And MPP for cry campaign almost see Kwekudia be job numbers libi ko. And it is already job numbers libi ko. And you cry emu 1/3 die. Emu be 4, 5, 6,000 die. Or say komo tabe to abama MPP. But from what we are seeing, Kwekudia nkwa supporters. And man to aba enra. In terms of Kwekudia nya 2,000. And the MPP Nina Edenabano, the whole Kumawu nipa 304 per to abamano. Into the question here is sa 9,000 na ye hu omono omonoma bane wen omo wen Kwekudia sa supported omo kwefom no mama anase omo nyina ewu anase sankofo ni nyina omo nyina from 2020 to 2023 omo nyina ewu. We just want to ask, we are asking the EC and we are asking the NPP. Now see. You see this? This floor points. This floor, the point out only one thing which suggests there's obviously a suspected case of rigging in 2020 elections, narrowing it down to Kumawu. Now, we actually clearly say in 2020, no, the elections now a siwo Ghana, especially Ashanti region, no, there was something wrong. The numbers that were coming from Ashanti region, no, one, it's either amount for over party numbers, no. And then so omutishemu. Two, what you can see clearly is say numbers are NPP recording on Ashanti region, no, 99% of them were all fake numbers. Now, what happened thirdly is say either say numbers are kweku ayadian mirefridin the kweku guy no enya no we nya sa numbers no and NPP demand no and the numbers are baswa nya no baswa nya sa numbers no and no demand baswa because in BB because kweku di nya sa numbers na the NPP and the EC will have to force and add more numbers to baswa numbers. Now the numbers we saw in Kumawu yesterday, no, and only the real numbers are a two abano in 2020 Kumawu. Sa 2020 numbers, no, they were numbers at NPP area gumu. Mamenchawade. Let's now look at the past numbers and juxtapose it with the current ones. Now, young question, now young numbers, no, young history, no, young trend, no, now young fan to end the day, no. Now, if you remember, NTS, sa numbers you who Kumawu no, and no any 2020 numbers, no elections, no NPP ni EC area 2020 abanama NPP, Ashanti region, and we are using Kumawu. We are using Kumawu as a test case. I'm sorry, I'm trying to figure something out here. It's very important. So this is it. Yanko numbers, no. In 1996, Rio Adai Basua made 15,025 votes to win the parliamentary seat. In 1996, no, MPP near your friend Rio Basua on a contest and the MPP. Or make 15,025 votes, representing 49.60. 1996, MPP in a win year. You see, said there was no independent candidates. 1996, NDC in 9,354. Internet fenchem now. So, a year fact anymore. In 2000, the year 2000. There was an independent candidate who broke away from the NPP in the person of Kingsford Boating. In 1996, Baswa winning no election na ebedu 2000 no NPP ni bia Kumawu enso break out near friend Kingsford Boating. As a result, the number of Rio Baswa dropped from 15,000 to 13,000. Sa MPP dino in 2000 or tin who free MPP kwa independent candidate no okoje Baswa no 15,000 no 2,000 into social results 2,000 results this is what you see. You will see say Rio Adai Baswa or dropping from 15,000 to 13,000 and a nipana or contested as independent no matreno Kingsford Obuatino onya 6,000. So what happened was ultimately abani be free the MPP for the whole and yet MPP for the nyina na ekotoman but dodo no free ho ekotoma den MPP no enti independent candidate no original mesribi, which is a normal thing because now a new candidate has come. They are still keeping the old MP and they are quite breaking off no, as an MPP or breaking off no ultimately the number no so 2,000 because NPP 2,000 for be dinechi now it is 6,000. Now when you go into the statistics or the explanation, in 2004 another election sasoba, what happened? However, Yaoba came to replace Baswa. Into Baswa no, I think he died. And at 2004 no, Yaoba ebeshe Baswa 9. Remember, sa independent candidate na or contesting or no the incumbent MP no said the Baswa we no sa Baswa no ewie and the Yauba ebe share sa incumbent na 9. Now, Yauba managed to back the half of the votes the NPP lost in the previous independent candidate. Into Yauba ba no na ono so be contested. Remember, Yauba a new face. Or the Sakwana and Rini, no. So in Kofona Omudi, Eya Akwaba Kurechina or frustrate Eya Baswano. Now what happened was that Sa 13,000 na Yauba beto no. Yauba moved the number to 19,000. Meaning say Sa 6,000 na or say Bwaji na one no. Sa 6,000 no a drop ya ebedru him for 556. NPP for the free independent candidate nechi and kodi new MP na wabana obesha Baswa 9. So his number moved from a year 15 or 13 to a year 19, meaning 4,000 out of the 6,000. MPP, meaning say the MPP they have taken back their supporters. Break it the new candidate by new candidate new face in the by no MPP for no mudi a year Kings for the chino a Patrick or say chino esaba MPP. You were expecting the same thing to happen yesterday, Kumawu, because a year Kwekudiano or contested a year Baswa in 2020. It's in 2023. You didn't new face about Baswa uno. Nanka at least 9,000 and I say 11,000. At least 70% of them should vote for this new candidate to move the numbers from 14,000 to maybe 19,000 because the presidential Akuffo Addo had 23,000. But this is the situation now. This new candidate came in and got only 304 votes out of the count. We will come there. Now let's move forward. Now, when you read the breakdown, in 2008, Yauba also faced CBB. Yauba also faced an independent candidate. They say Yauba na a new star boy, no, or buy no beji numbers free. Boatin ho. Now Yauba so time do 2008. Another MPP person to break away and go independent. So Yauba also faced an independent candidate who came from MPP and his 19,000 votes now. Darling boy, Obejin wo a year 2004 no. Sa 19,000 votes no, it dropped all the way to 15,000. Meaning say sa kwana na or contested Yauba no with to me ayden ababa beji about 4,000 out. Sa kwano na your friend no Dominic Otin, he got 7,000 votes. Into to me GNPP for bear 5,000 and okonya 2,000 bisoso. And it has been a trend. It has been a trend. Say independent but first time unya numbers. But anytime MPP be a new candidate for MPP to face the independent, the numbers disappear because MPP for the Nasaba fee. Omudi independent chiko abontinia na MPP the new candidate but I said omudi Andrade and buyer they all come back home. 90% of them come back home. They vote for MPP numbers to go up. This time MPP got only 300 votes. Ask yourself. Now in 2012 so I'm for mundi mechi mi in 2012 when the now late Philip Baswa came in as the NPP candidate. Now Baswa a new face. This is the new Baswa because Akwaba Akono nipa no contesting no why then what votes. So in 2012 when Baswa came in as the NPP candidate, he managed to win with 18,000. 2012 Baswa 18,858. And the independent candidate Dominic Otin of frustrated Yaubano Dominic Otino and or drop it from Sandy vote no 7,000 about 3,000. Meaning nobody Dominic Otin or MPP independent no they've left him. They are coming back to vote for the new face that is Baswa. The late Baswa, they all came back. So the Baswa became the new darling boy. On I the new face. Now let's move forward. Let me show you this. In this Osha, you see it there. Sorry. So when you move forward, this is what you see. In 2012, Philip Baswa making 18,000. MPP Nina call independent, he made what? 3,991. to Baswa as a NPP for no about 70% because it's the new darling boy. On the kute nimuno. So they are back to home. And it has been a trend. It has been a trend for a very long time. Now, Baswa is the darling boy. Let's see what happens. In 2016, Philip Baswa, in 2016, nobody contested Baswa. In 2016, no, Baswa went through. There was no independent candidate in 2016. Into Baswa number no sound movie go up 21,000. Remember, Nana Akuffo Addo in 2016, 2020, his number was around 23,000. Into Baswa has actually met the number. Baswa has been able to move the number to 21,000, meaning he's almost close to the presidential candidate. He's in comfortable lead. He has shown, say, the dominance is there because there was no independent candidate in 2016. Now, from 2016, we came to 2020. Now, see what happened. 2020, an NPP person broke away in the name of Kweku Dua. What did Kweku Dua do? Time at 2020, Kweku Dua. 2020, Kweku Dua contested Philip Baswa. Kweku Dua took 11,000 votes. Straight up. Inti Ote Baswa numbers so. Ebedru by 14,000. Now, we come back to a year and the story no. Kweku Dua got 11,000. 2020. Until we coming into election 2023. Remember, this person coming is a new candidate. NPP for 11,000. Omudi Kweku Dua echi. Yamfan say 10,000. Omudi Kweku Dua echi echo independent in 2020. No, you expect to say when the same trend follows, the same statistics follows. You expect to say 2023. No, sa nipadu at least 60% will say Kweku Dua yabreo. NPP ni Akuffo Addo the new candidate abasi bi omde Baswa bae no enti ye nyina no enye ye nyina kura about 70% ye nyina no ye kwa koto ama eye Ernest new candidate no. But this is the situation when the results came no, at the final day of the results no, eye Ernest no onya 15,000. Now 15,000 no from 14,000 Baswa ja ho no otumi de nipa 304 per the count. Yamfa ntonchen. And this now, omunya 2,000 in 2020, no. Oma jumping from 2,000 to 3,723. Oma to the nipa 1,284 account numbers on. Now MPP na Kweku Dua independent now tam nipa 11,000 di omukoye no. It's about time. Yeah, the new face never. Yeah, the new person never. I will say at least MPP for to say unity. We are back. Or think about 70% of sa nipa ni nyina etoma de etoma Ernest na and wabe wini no. What happened? Nipa 2,000 pa yamfa so mudi Kweku Dua echi no epe enetoma Kweku Dua na nipa 9,000 na aka no mo wen. It is a steady election critically. NDC yamfa say omutumi nya 1,280 every Kweku Dua 11,000 nim. Eye Kweku Dua junior onusu tumi nya 62 every mu. Now NPP for so etumi nya 304 every mu. Now, when you do this math, we have over there over 8,900 people are technically no omutuma Kweku Dua about we omunyina to be omunyina and show up. They didn't vote. Omunyina no, they did not come back to vote. Into the question is, then Kweku Dua nkwa supporters almost 9,000 etumi. And it's a question to ask. So okay say a by election and yet enthusiasm ni ho nipa bebre nto a yate ase na yede say nipa bebre nto a Kweku Dua nko supporters na nto aba. Yam fan say by election the turnout wasn't great. Yate ase na yede na Kweku Dua nko because NDC made gains. NDC nya numbers. Most of nipa omde ba MPP do nya 300 pen car Baswa numbers no. Inti Kweku Dua numbers no yede na Kweku Dua nko 9,000 no e na nto aba de bi. And this brings us to the validity and the integrity of the 2020 elections. Yeah? what the NPP did in 2020, 90% of 47 constituencies, no, the numbers you are seeing at Eye Kumawu, no, these are the real figures of the NPP. 2020, say NPP catch us say Kwekudu anya 9,000 omo boa. 2020, some catch us say Baso anya 14,000 over omo boa. 2020 no, Kwekudu anya numbers che Basoa. But do you know what they did? Because 2020 they Akuffo Addo 23,000. Now what they did was that they put more papers for Eye Basoa to reach a certain level. Because some only say a bit too obvious, no? Because in 2020 everybody saw that Kwekudu was supposed to win. So they also padded Kwekudu's numbers. Kwekudu, he did not deserve the 11,000, but because the NPP and the EC wanted to lie to Ghanaians and to the NDC, what they did is they padded Kwekudu and they padded Eye Basoa more. So it becomes difficult for you to analyze and know where the padding happened. In terms of the Kwekudu and a conduits, I'm the small screen and I'm the padded Basoa. Basoa did not get 14,000. Kwekudu made more numbers than Basoa, but they wanted Basoa to win. And into the end, shockingly, 9,000 and over numbers are they did not show up. So now you see at the Kudientia 2020 elections, the EC did not want to come out. Anytime catch a Ghana for say NPP is not strong in Ashanti region again. The Ashanti region is no more longer the stronghold of the NPP. And as time goes on, Babe pick constituency by constituency. Now the Kudientia NDC winning 2020 elections. In this way, Bajimba, ask yourself, 9,000. Omunyina antwama Kukudia. Omunyina antwama NPP. Omunyina antwama NDC. Nipa 9,000 omufine. From 2020 to 2023, NDC was able to add 1,240. Omufrihi. Omunyina Kukudia and Kofoni be fine. NDC, upon all the things they did, Omuchesika, Omuchamo, president, vice president, chief of staff, all presidential candidates, Omuchim just 304 votes in the count. And then I catch them on the say the elections now you're conducting in 2020 it was rigged. NPP, if the NDC is vigilant in the Ashanti region, NPP will collapse. NPP numbers are almost Ghana for if your Ashanti region is a lie. I am telling you, if the NDC is going to be vigilant and tighten all the screws, the NPP will go down as the worst party in their own stronghold. Anytime catch them will say the NDC will win election 2024 from Ashanti region if they put a lot of resource down in the Ashanti region. If they stop them, because all that they do in the Ashanti region and say, they will come and tell you, I had a door so omoboa. You will nipa omuti Ashanti region mututia NPP. The numbers that comes from the Ashanti region is a lie. Kumawu kwa ba kuni numbers omu over 11,000, close to 10,000 numbers no muya for Kumawu kwa afewu. Now you see how it is. Yeah, ko edi Asin North. I am going to go with you. Asin North for some me. This is what the NPP does. Now, if anybody has any other analysis, they should come and let us see. We just want to know where the 9,000 went. If there was vote apathy, if the people were not enthused about coming to vote, how come Kwekudu and Kwa supporters down to Aba? The whole NPP got only 304 votes. NDC was able to move at 1,284. How come say Kwekudu and Kwa na Kwekudu and Kwa from man to Aba man omo wen omo Kwa omo nyina wu.
Maneva na sema PENDREAM TV. PENDREAM TV de osia dem yopo